Today on Tease Time, we're going to get our electric brake controller by Tekonsha installed on Percy the van. So that is today. Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Tease Time. I'm TJ. I hope life is treating you well. Today we're going to focus on getting our trailer brake controller installed. On the last video, I did the hard wire for the 7-way connector in the back so the trailer could see electrical lights. Our future trailer. So in the process of doing that, I ran the blue wire up to the cab, and the blue wire is the signal that gets sent from the brake controller to the trailer to actuate electric brakes if the trailer is equipped with electric brakes. So for my brake controller, I have this right here. It's a Tekonsha, a P3, the part number 90195. And everything that I'm running off, you can find in the description below if you need a link to find it, just to try to help you out, make life a little easier. But you also need your test light. We have a multimeter, our strippers, wire cutters, extra wire, and then just some marker tapes to, you know, separate the two wires, like for our power, because the power that I ran into the cab yesterday from the 7-way is also black, and then we have the black power is going to run off of the brake controller to its always live power source. So that needs to be marked with something to kind of differentiate the two. So I use the electrical marker tape. It'll help a little bit. And then we also have our circuit breaker, our 30 amp, and then inside of the box, let's open this up. So you open it up, comes with instructions. I already opened the box up and read the instructions. So always kind of go through the instructions just to verify if there's like any clues or anything that you need to like pay attention to. So you open the box, instructions, more instructions, the wire harness that I have to hardwire because my vehicle isn't pre-wired for a brake controller. So I have to do a hard wire where I have to run the wires and find where everything goes, which isn't too bad. You just have to kind of just verify your pinouts for everything. It has the mount, and the controller itself comes with a little pouch. So depending on how you mount it, you can take it with you or have it hard mounted where you have to like physically unscrew it to remove it. I'm gonna hard mount it. And in the instructions, there's something that says for depending on the vehicle, you have to find your brake trigger. So on the cold side, meaning it doesn't see 12 volts unless you step on the brake pedal, and then when you step on the brake pedal, the cold side will see a 12 volt. But in the instructions, it says that it could get an error code if that signal sees a ground. It'll have like a ground out error or whatever. So it's not supposed to see ground without your foot being pressed on the pedal. Like you release it, it shouldn't see ground, it shouldn't see anything. I'm gonna throw a relay in there just to be on the safe side. If you're like unsure, throw a relay in. And on the relay, it has if you ever worked with a relay, it has an 86, what is that, 86 and 85. You could connect the ground or the power to either end, but whenever it sees power, it'll close this connection right there on the 30 and the 87. So what I want to do, I want to connect was it 86 to 87. I'm gonna have that on the cold side, and then on the ground we're gonna have 86 for our ground, and then for our 30 I'm gonna have this run to the brake controller itself. So this will be the signal wire, so this will see nothing but 12 volts. So when I step on the brake, it'll get 12 volts. When I let off, it'll see nothing. So that's what I'm gonna do with this. So I'd rather just be safe than sorry. Like you could chance it and just kind of splice into your cold side of your brake switch, but I wouldn't do it. You know, like if it's something as simple as just throwing a relay in, save you some headaches, do it. But just that, the wire, test lights, and the first order of business, we just have to figure out exactly where to mount it. So you want to put it somewhere where you're not going to be banging into it, getting in and out of your truck or your vehicle. So on the van, on Percy the van, I actually enter from the opposite side people normally enter in. So I'm going to have it like closer to the driver's side window. So I did kind of see like a spot. Let me show you what I'm thinking for my mount location. I'm thinking of somewhere right here. I'm gonna have it mounted right there. Like it'll be out the way completely. Like, I don't have to worry about bumping into it. I still could reach like the emergency little trigger. There's like a switch, a toggle switch where you got to kind of check when you program it for your brakes anyway. Like I'll be able to reach it right there while I'm sitting here. So I just have to mount that. And then this, actually, let me actually get some better lighting. Yeah, let me go get a drop light. I'm gonna make it a little brighter in there, and I'm gonna put my crawl on the ground sweatshirt because I'm about to crawl on the ground a little bit to get that figured out and situated and mounted. So give me 1 second. We will be right back. When you see it again, I'll be in the cab. All right, and we're back in our crawl on the ground wear. Sweatshirts are available on the website. Check it out if you want. But for our brake trigger, it is right there. So a good way to find out which side is the cold side, which side is the hot side. You take your test light here. That's the ground. That's your hot side. So key not in, just sitting there hanging out. That's your hot side. So that wire right there is hot. This is your cold side. It sees no electricity until you actually step on the brake, and then when you step on the brake, it'll light up. Did you see that? So that's your cold side. So you have to connect the brake controller on this end right here. So in order to do that, I should probably actually like take that. I gotta just figure out where I want to run it. Yeah, but that's your cold side, that's your hot side. And on the instructions, it says for the cold side right here, like I was saying, this side isn't supposed to see a ground at all. So, a good way to see if that's actually like grounded out on the cold side, use your multimeter. I like to use the quick sound for connectivity, like it'll make a buzzing noise, like so, like if it connects. So that's ground. So ground to our ground where we had our test light, and then we hit it to the cold side, and it doesn't make any noise. So what I could do, I could like just put a splice on there, but like there's a little bit of movement. Let's see if you could pick that up. There's a little movement. So this is connectivity. So that's grounding out. So if we hook this up to the cold side, like as you can see, like there's movement. So like it should be okay just to kind of connect that right to the cold side without connecting the relay. But just to be for a peace of mind, I'm gonna actually just connect the relay. I probably should just do the relay over where I mount the brake controller. So first order of business is to just figure out where you want to actually put your brake controller. So you figure out where you want your brake controller, and then that way you could just know the length of your wires, where you want to run your wires, and make it all like line up and look clean. So I'm gonna get into mounting the brake controller right now. And then you have two different kind of mounts here. You could go this route right here with that and mount it like so, and then you can take that off whenever you want to, or you could just use this and just hard mount it straight to the bottom of this dash, this wooden piece. Make sure it's something secure. And when you do mount this, you want to make sure that it's in line with the vehicle. You don't want to install it like so to the side like that, but you can mount it on the same axis, but you could mount it like this, but it has to be in the direction of travel. It has to be straight. So you want this as straight as possible. Don't just throw it up there and say, oh, it's good. you want to make sure that it's straight with the line of travel. So that way it monitors you slowing down, it self-calibrates. So you want to make sure that this is straight. You don't want it cocked to the side. So you mount it, just make sure it's as straight as possible. Like it could be off by like a millimeter or two, but like don't have it like crazy. You want to have it as straight as possible. And it does come with the mounting hardware that you would need. So first order of business, let's see where we want to. Where do we exactly we want it? We want it there. That'll probably be a good spot. So that's that. All right, so we have ground. This is our trigger for our brake switch when you step on the brake pedal. This is our power. Make sure you put a breaker, a self-resetting breaker fuse in there. What is it, 30 amps, I believe? And this is for our trailer brake controller. So this sends the signals to the trailer itself. So that's what the blue wire. I think, do I want to put this like here? Put that like there. So the good thing about not using the other mount where you can like disconnect it, I have 2 extra screws, so I can use that to mount my relay. So I just have to figure out location, relay, where I'm going to mount the breaker, the self-resetting breaker, and then just it's just connecting the wires at this point. For the negative, it says make sure you use a good ground. They prefer or suggest the negative battery terminal on the battery itself. But in the instructions, it kind of contradicts itself. It says a known good ground, but then also has the note on the wire itself, like right here in yellow, which says it's advisement to what it says. Units which are not grounded to the negative terminals of the battery may not operate or may operate intermediately. Do not ground the white wire to the dash or other interior surfaces. I'm going to mount this to an interior surface. This whole van is all made out of aluminum. The whole shell is a ground. So that's what's kind of nice about like this. Like everything is grounded. Like this is ground, that's ground, you know, versus like if you're under a dash and you're trying to find like something metal and you have to worry about stuff rusting. But I'm going to just use what they told me not to use. So I'm going to just ground out probably here or something. But, or even I do have ground terminals already inside. I do have a terminal right here, but like it's got a lot going on. Like it might have like some interference and stuff. But, like this is a ground. This is like the positive to our lithium, and that's the positive that goes straight to the battery and to our alternator. So I can hook straight into there for both the auxiliary power supply from the 7-way, and for the brake controller, I'm gonna just connect into that right there. So yeah, now it's just finding, like, make it run smooth. And this is the wire right here that you see coming in that I ran on the last video for the 7-way. That's what this is. This is the blue wire for the brake controller. So you just have to figure out which way I want to route it. And I'm going to loom it up even more. Like, once I get everything situated, like, I'll make the wires and everything look nice. All right, on the last video when I ran the wires for the 7-way, I ran them extra long. So what I'm going to do for the blue, and then also for the black, the power auxiliary, I'm going to put it through this wire protector, the sheathing, to protect the wires from chafing. But I'm going to run it all the way through, and for the black, I'm going to cut it in two once I have the wire ran all the way through where I want it to live. And then that way I could just put 2 wire connectors at the end and connect them to the terminal on the battery isolator. Alright, so I went on the bottom of the van and I took some of the slack out of the wire that I ran when I did the electrical for the 7-way for the trailer. I took the slack out of the black power wire, and then also the blue wire for our electric brake actuator. So this is what I have so far. I came in, I pulled it through, so took out all the slack on the bottom's zip tied now, and I just ran it up through and around, and then back down, and it's covered so it doesn't chafe on anything. So we have that, and then we have, well, let me show you. This is the cable, the blue and the black. You can see that the blue is for the electric brakes, the black is going to be for our 12-volt power. And then we already mounted our electric brake. So I have this relay, I'm gonna mount right next to it, right back there. And then we're gonna shorten and connect these wires where they need to be connected. Alright, and then we have to run our red wire over to our brake switch. So we're going from here. Remember, this is the cold side. This doesn't have power until you step on the brakes. So just gotta feed this through. This is the other end. Make sure you got a good connection. Like I said, hot side, cold side. Touch the brake, it comes on. Let's see, touch the brake, it comes on. Cool. They got power.
remember this green tracer right here that I have on the black power right there. It's a green tracer. We're going to add another green tracer when we cut the wire behind the seat. Alright, and then right here, this is the black or 12 volt. That's going to be the constant that we have to connect into right here on our chassis side. We need to connect those into there. Right there. In order to do that, we need our fuse. I'm going to install them like right there. All right, and this is for the battery side, and this is for the auxiliary side. So remember that this is the 30 amp, this is for the battery. So it's going to go from here to there, and then this black power cord is going to go right to the top one. All right, I'm just going to show you before I mount this, so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me put some screws in. But this is the power. And as you can see, it is on. And that is it connected. It says press a key to continue. No trailer. It'll say that when you don't have a trailer connected. And as you set power output, max output, we're not going to play with any of that stuff, but it is in. It is connected. No trailer connected. See, you can't really do anything. And bada boom, bada bang. So it's finished. Everything's wired. After 15 minutes of just standby, it'll shut itself off, so you don't have to worry about it killing your battery. But everything is wired in. All this stuff I'm gonna clean up. I'm gonna use electrical tape and wrap it all up so it's clean, it's neat, it's out of the way. Everything's on there, it's tight, it's secure. This is the ground. And as I've said before, I just used the relay to be on the safe side. Like I could have went straight from the power to over here to our brake switch without the relay. But just to be on the safe side, I just wanted to make sure it was good. It doesn't see any ground, like if I don't have my foot on the brake. So I installed the relay just to be on the safe side. So this is like the worst case scenario if you were to wire this in. So it covers all vehicles, you know what I just did. So it just makes life easier. But this is our electrical cable that goes all the way to the trailer. You have to run this wire all the way to the trailer, and that's the blue wire. It has to go all the way back to your trailer, your 7-way, or yeah, your 7-way has to run all the way to the back. This goes straight to the battery, the black one, and that's live. And make sure you put a 30 amp in between that. I put a self resetting, so if it breaks, it'll reset itself. And then of course your ground. It tells you in the instructions to make sure you put this ground like straight to the battery, or it contradicts itself. It says also like a known good ground. The whole van is all made out of aluminum. The whole thing grounds out. So I just put the ground right there. So it's easy to access if I have to get to it, or if I have to replace this relay. Everything is like right there, simple, easy to get to. And then the red cable goes over to your brake switch. And as I said, I did the relay, so that's all wired in. It's good. We're all set. So just clean that up. The hardest part, I believe, was just like running the wires. Actually, like once everything was ran, it's pretty quick just to connect everything. But it's just running the wires is the most difficult part. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, just ask below. Like, I don't mind answering some questions to try to make your life a little easier. But that is it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace. TJ.